Now, one of the attractive features of Nikon high-end cameras like this D500 is the auto-tune, AF auto-tune. And so that's D500, and this is TAMRON 10 to 24 millimeter lens. I love it. Very light, vibration reduction, you know. Except I was noticing some inconsistencies in focusing and, you know, like in detail between various focal length, and so I try to tune it with built-in AF tune in the Nikon. And of course, because it's a zoom lens, you gotta do the measurements at, you know, at the focal length that you use, you know, most often. And this one, so 10 to 24 on the crop sensor body, that's 15 to 35. So I use both. I use 15 millimeters and I use 35 millimeters. Like 15 is more for, you know, unusual angles, like, you know, scenery, landscapes, when you have something close. You have something to put in the foreground. But for like street photography, you know, all kind of street scenes, you know, even again landscapes, 35 millimeters, of course, is perfect. But when I did the measurements, I still remember I got very, like, a big spread in the results. They were the 10 millimeters, like on the lens, 0 tune was required inside the camera. At 15 millimeters it was +2, and at 24 millimeters it was +6. Okay, and Nikon, so it's D500, D7500, and D5, D7500, and D500. They have this auto AF tune, and they only give you one number. Like for the entire range, you can only choose one number. And how do you choose between 0 and 6? You know, when you're using both focal length is pretty much you know, equally. So there gotta be a better solution. Enter TAMRON tap-in console. Before I bought it, I checked with on the TAMRON's website. I looked at documentation, and I was really happy to see that this one allows you to tune the autofocus, not one number, but I think it's three numbers you can save, you know. And I just picked this up, so I got it from B&H Photo in New York, and I found I'm staying in Florida right now on vacation, so I found a UPS customer center, and I gave them that address, hold for pickup, my name, and then the address of the customer center. And I was just, you know, tracking it, and they sent it by I think two-day air. Yeah, that's your manual, right? I wonder how much warranty you get. Like, I'm from Canada. I know that in Canada I would get TAMRON and Sigma. We get, you know, 6-7 years. This one I don't know. And they use so many languages: German, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Netherlands, Russian. Oh, my native languages here. Внимание! Achtung! Attention! We're gonna look at it later on. For now, I just want to show you guys the actual gadget, what it looks like. It's so it came in a box like this, you know. I'm not kidding you. Like a box like this. Inside it had this little box, and there was that bubble wrap, you know. This is it. Well, I guess there should be some cables. So that's the entire thing. It's basically kind of like what you can hook up your lens to, right? Oh, and before you buy it, if you decide to buy it, make sure you check. Oh yeah, okay, I see a connector here for the cable, USB cable. Yeah, and this is basically your elements, you know, where you can connect the lens. Very cool. So yeah, not all lenses are supported. You know, Sigma has a similar thing, right? And now Tamron. Actually, I have my other lens I use for wildlife, like a big lens, 150 to what is it? 600, right? I didn't want to tune it inside the camera again because it's a zoom lens, that one, and that one is pretty sharp on my camera even at 600 millimeters, so I didn't even tune it, but I wanted to do this one. And so what else? So yeah, so that's the dock, and you gotta make sure that the lens that you want to use it with is supported. Like on the website it'll say what lenses are supported. And that's it. It's just one cable. And I know first you have to basically hook it up to the computer, download an update from the internet, and there should be some kind of software that you install. And then you connect the lens with the dock, and using that software you can do all this tuning, you know. So basically that was just, you know, kind of like an introduction, right? I think it's a very useful tool. I plan to buy more Tamron lenses in the future. I really like this new generation that, you know, where they use this, you know, very nicely made, this dark kind of plastic. Like they have this generation 2, they have 150 to 600, right? They have 70 to 200 f2.8, and they're all like this kind of finish, you know. And I think in the future I was interested in that 70 to 200, because on my camera it's 100 to 300, so sometimes it can be useful for landscapes, stuff like that. So anyway, just a quick introduction to basically what else you can use when you think your lens needs tuning, right? So Tamron tap-in console. Thanks for watching.